I live in central Texas near where there has recently been massive flooding with
Mm.
already 50 lives lost and more missing. What is the greater purpose of something like this and the other supposed natural disasters that have happened recently? Was this done on purpose with weather modification, or was this truly a natural disaster?
You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. First of all, you have to remember that death is not real, that those souls are okay. They have, in their own way, chosen an exit point. This is not what you're taught in your society. You are taught that any death is a disaster and it should not have happened. But there are beings, many beings, who come together in their pre-life arrangements to decide that they are going to leave at the same time. Because when you leave at the same time, many of you leave at the same time, depending on age and this kind of thing, you're going to get people's attention. So this is what's happening right now. For example, people are looking at those videos. Oh my God, it's terrible. The poor people that have lost their homes. And on a human level, on an egoic level, it is a true disaster. Obviously, it's a terrifying thing to be caught in a flash flood like that. But we will tell you that weather modification is ongoing and we will say complete. There is constant weather modification happening. This is a technology, this is a war technology that is being used to sometimes incite fear, sometimes incite financial disaster, sometimes clearing the way for developments that somebody in a position of power would like to have. Some of the fires that have been happening over the last few years have been that they want the land that is now available because all the houses have been burnt down. And sometimes you will see certain weather disasters are unusually violent, unusually quick, weird. They've never happened in that way before. That is a clue that this is orchestrated. Normally, weather systems don't do that kind of thing. For example, hurricane systems coming in, 1, 2, 3 hurricanes hitting the same area so that it's devastated, so that people have to evacuate, that homes have to be destroyed, these kinds of things. So weather modification on your planet is massive. There are beings who live inside your planet. There are civilizations who live inside your planet because living on the surface is very dangerous. There are earthquakes and tsunamis and hurricanes and storms and lightnings and fires. It is a very, very difficult place to live. So this is not new, that humans struggle with the erratic and dangerous nature of living on the surface of the planet. So when you are looking at these things, and we understand that there is a morbid fascination with looking at a flood, for example, when everything is filmed these days, there's always a film of it. There's always a disaster movie in the making. Anytime a tornado comes through, a hurricane comes through, a flood comes through, because of these phones, you have access to every single disaster around the planet immediately. You get to watch people dying, getting hit by trees or lightning. It is the ego's playground in your social media feed. That is what this is. It's the ego's playground in social media feed. You can have pornography in one button. You can have death and destruction in one button. You can have war in one button. Treat these phones with caution. They will lead you down into the rabbit hole of fear. What are you when you're afraid? You're more compliant. You're more easily managed. So we have been very, very clear about the phones and how they use the camera, for example, to get you to take the phone with you wherever you go. We still say when you go on a beautiful hike, don't take the phone every time. You've taken a picture of that tree, you've taken a picture of that river, you've taken a picture of your dear dog's bottom many, many times. Don't take it with you every time. Use it as an exercise to not take it with you more than not. Take it with you 1 in 4 times. But understand that this is the control device that is being used to influence you. So for most of you, we would say probably 95% of the people listening right now have seen the floods in Texas. If you're not in Texas, it's not really your business. If you feel for the people who've lost their homes, make a donation, then put it away. But your life, your house, your floodplain is your business. That is the way we want you to really start living your life. Pay attention to your own life, your own investments. And when we say investments, we don't mean money. We mean your garden. We mean your community, your neighborhood, your pets, your family, your investments, the thing that you put yourself into. That is where you should be investing, not worrying about Singapore, not worrying about Timbuktu, and God bless them, not worrying about the people in Texas. It is not your experience. You are taking on somebody else's disaster unnecessarily. But it's not kind, Jesus, to ignore those people. We're not saying ignore them. We're saying send a prayer to them. Send them on their way when they have left the planet. But understand that worrying about these things is not going to improve your connection to your guides and teachers who are going to be giving you guidance about how and where you should live. That's what you're losing when you get caught up in the disaster, the bombings last week, the disaster here, the fire there, the flood there. You are all over the map, and so is your energy, so is your creativity. It's all over the map. You have leaks going everywhere. If you see something like that, watch it for 5 minutes and then don't watch it again. You don't need to see it over and over again. You don't need to be involved in a war that's happening 11,000 miles away. Stop letting your energy go over there. Corral your energy, corral your creativity. This is your power. This is your strength. This is what you're supposed to be using to create the life that you came here to live, based on the blueprint that you have, based on the ego desires that you have. This is your life. So we want you to understand what all of these things are. They are draining your energy, draining your focus. Get focused on the thing that you want to create. Get focused on the life that you want to live. Say a prayer when you see somebody's having a difficult time. Send them $100 if you can or if you want to. But understand, if it's not happening close to you in your area, it's not meant to be taking up space in your mind. It's not meant to be making you sad and depressed. We will say it again. This is the ego's playground. This is where you come when you believe in death. This is where you come when you believe in disaster. This is where you come when you believe in the body. This is what's playing out here. Do not be surprised that it is not a fun place for a lot of people. Why do those people have to be devastated the way they are? You will never know. It doesn't matter. What we want you to understand is that when the ego uses it to make you afraid, to make you constrained, to make you afraid to go traveling, whatever it is that you are inspired to do, when you look at these disasters, your brain, the way it's formed, actually believes that this is happening in your world. And so it will tell you, don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. It's dangerous out there. And so you shut down the adventurous spirit of the creator. So that is our advice about that is, yes, there is weather modification. Generally speaking, they won't know how many people are going to be killed, but it's going to do something to the group mentality. That is what it's generally being used for. The group mentality needs to be kept in fear, needs to be kept in the lower frequencies of death and destruction. And that's why that's the kind of news that is played across the systems. None of you would be listening to the social media if it was all sweetness and light and the boy up the road mows the lady's lawn because she's too old. The ego isn't interested in that stuff. It is all of the egos here that love that stuff, that want to watch that stuff. Our dear one noticed it. There was another video of a flood, and she had that feeling. I don't need to watch another video of that flood. It's awful to watch the homes being washed away. You imagine your own home being washed away. Exactly. When you watch it, you imagine your own home being washed away, and you start to suffer, and you think you're suffering because of what's happening to them. But in actual fact, you're suffering because your frequency has gone down, and you are getting a message from your guidance system that says, you're heading the wrong way in frequency. Stop watching and go up. That is what your suffering is. It's the message that you're off track and you're looking at the wrong thing or interpreting it incorrectly. So understand, anytime you see disaster, anytime you see mass killings, whatever it is, go in for a minute if you have to, preferably not. And your suffering will tell you. If you start to suffer, you start to worry, you start to be fearful, you've gone down into the ego's playground. Get out of the ego's playground, get up into your creativity, get up into your fun, get up into your joy. And yes, the ego mind will tell you that you're selfish. It will tell you that you don't care enough. But the truth of the matter is you do care. You have to care about how you feel and your frequency, because that is your guidance system telling you that joy is better, happiness is better. The ego will always tell you, but you're a bad person to be joyful when the poor Texans are having a hard time. And that is the training that you have, that you should always take on everybody else's suffering. But it is wrong. That is how suffering is perpetuated, is not how the world is changed. You are much more powerful when you are investing in joyful things, in happy things. And we understand you're human. You're going to look occasionally, but make sure it's occasionally. Make sure it's a minute and not an hour. And then spend the next 59 minutes in your garden, painting a painting, writing a book, building the business that you want. Invest in yourself, invest in the beautiful life that you have been given here to work out all of your idols, and understand that you are far more influential, you are far more helpful when you are doing that kind of thing, rather than wringing your hands at the disasters that are constant in the ego's playground. I'd like to let you know that we have an in-person Channeling Jesus retreat that still has some spaces available in it. The retreat goes from July 25th to 29th, so next month, and it's on Salt Spring Island in British Columbia, Canada. And if you'd like to join us, please go to channelingjesus.com, and all the information is there. We're doing fewer channeled retreats over this coming year. Jesus has been giving us the message to back off a little bit. And as the crazy world out there goes on, we can see that maybe traveling and doing all that sort of thing is maybe not the best idea at the time. But this is a local event for me on beautiful Salt Spring Island. So please do go check it out and consider coming. You've got 5 weeks yet. You can book a flight or book a train or however you want to get here. And you will have 4 days of amazing interaction with Jesus and Ananda. We often have other beings that come through at retreats. And of course, you're going to get to meet other Course in Miracles students, other spiritual students. So you get some real life interaction with other people, amazing conversations. The food at the retreat center we're staying at is incredible, all organic, locally grown food. So it's a beautiful event. Please do consider coming and join.